to Pluto's property. Today we are having a little look around our second finished project. We'll have a look how it's gone throughout the process, a bit before, a bit during, a bit of me destroying stuff, and then what it looks like now that we have finished it.
So let's have a little look at what this property looked like when we first purchased it. The condition of the property was pretty poor throughout. We knew we were going to have to take out all of the kitchen, bathrooms, all of the fixtures and fittings, and go back, in some places, all the way back to bricks. There was a couple of damp issues. What we found, however, with the wooden panelling in the bathroom and the kitchen was that there was a lot of damp problems all over the walls, and we were going to have to actually take the whole house back to brick. Alongside that, we had to replace all of the windows and doors throughout the property, as they were poor single glazed wooden framed windows and poor security doors. So we replaced those throughout the property, and the plaster, as you can see, was just falling away throughout. So the job itself wasn't as hard as it could be in other properties. So let's remove all of the plaster and remove all of the mess and see what this looked like when we took it back to brick. I'll give you an idea, a better perspective of the property itself, and a bit of an idea of what we were working with. One of the most significant changes we made in this property was the configuration of the hallway. Initially, as you came in, had a wall running up the left-hand side, and then you entered the lounge dining area on the left. We didn't feel like this sort of opened up the property, and it left certain areas quite blocked off. So what we did was remove that wall and replaced it with a porch area, so we can still keep the access with two doors. So stop it as you open the door, you're not walking out straight onto the street. But that allowed us to really open up the lounge and allowed us to really create a lot more usable space in the property. Now let's take a wander throughout the property and see how it all turned out now that we are finished.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. Sometimes you need to go and take a step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell. You and me, we're meant to be in the great outdoors.
With this only being our second project, we learned a lot throughout the process of completing this project. So let's have a little look at what lessons were learned and where we went wrong. One of the first things and most important things with this one was checking the plaster condition throughout the property. So in this house, we knew there was some significant issues in one of the bedrooms, and we also knew that there was going to be a damp proofing required. So with a damp proof course, you have to remove the plaster up to 1.2 meters so that the rising damp can't come up the plaster. So we knew it had to come off up to 1.2 metres. But what we also found was there were significant damp issues in the bathroom and in the kitchen, which were being hidden by boards. Not just damp, but also very old plaster. So that ended up having to come off. We then realised that, to be honest, most of the plaster had to come off, at which point you may as well just take it all off and provide a brand new finish throughout. So the issue with this is it's really time consuming to firstly remove all of the existing plaster. So you've got to remove it all, and then you've got to dispose of that, whether that be skips or waste removal. And also you've got to reboard and block off the entire house with the new plasterboard. So it can be quite time consuming and expensive. So this was something that was a little bit more than we were hoping at the start of the project, and led to it being a bit longer on the renovation, and also a little bit more expensive than we were initially hoping. So in future, when purchasing, I'll be keeping a close eye on the plaster throughout the property. The second, and arguably the most important of the lessons learned, is the planning and management of the renovation work. So this work took around 6 months to complete, but the main issue regarding that was it laid empty for nearly 3 months with no work going on. And this was because my build team was occupied at another project. I didn't identify this early enough, so I thought that it would be done, that it would be empty for a while, and there was a few delays on the other project, so then my build team didn't go in, and it took a lot longer than initially anticipated to get this project finished. So that was something that in future, if I know that there's going to be a clash, I'm not going to be able to get my preferred build team in at the time, I'll have to get someone else in to do that, because it does increase the costs and the time. So as the time goes on, you have bills to pay, mortgages to pay, and it does just generally increase the time and cost of the project. And lastly, something that I think is very important, and a lesson not necessarily learned, but something that I'll definitely carry forward on the next project, is providing a high quality finish as part of the project. So what this does is it provides a high quality service to the tenant. It allows the property to be rented faster as it stands out, and in most circumstances will allow it to rent out for significantly more from the landlord's perspective, because it does provide a service which is on the higher end of the market, and therefore the price is adjusted accordingly. So in this area of Liverpool, the price for a poor quality house can be as low as £300 a month. This one rents out for nearly £600 a month. So it makes a huge difference, especially on the lower end of the market, to the value that you can achieve.
If you like the way this property turned out and would like to see what we're doing on the next couple of projects, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and I'll keep you updated with what's going on. But that's all from me today.